Morning everybody, I hope this video finds you well. This is part 2 of my mail days where I focus on my Strongsville pickups and some of the other vintage that I picked up, mostly pre-war. Here we go. Here's my first pickup. This is a Strongsville pickup, and JT from JT's Vintage Card Room sold me this. Shout out to you, bud. This is from the 1974 Topps. It's my main focus for my horizontal card on Tom Seaver. I always usually only have one player in the collection, and so this one right here is going to be it. I've got another variation that I'm going to show you at some point, but you can see just an absolutely beautiful picture and a card that I'm really happy to add to my collection. Next up, some of you may call this a horizontal card, some of you may not. I would say it's about 50-50 when I look online, but for me anyways, I'm going to add it to my horizontal card collection. This is Jack Dunn from the minor league Baltimore Orioles in the T206 set. This card was printed in 1909, and the reason why I picked this one up is because it's got the old mill back. So picked this up relatively cheap, which is really nice. It's a bit of a beater, but the fact that there are probably under 50 of these graded total, I'm not going to get it graded, but it's something that I decided that I certainly wanted to add. And for those of you that don't know, Jack Dunn's a really cool guy. Played a long time in the minor leagues and ended up being the owner and the manager of the minor league Baltimore Orioles. And the interesting thing is he's the one that apparently discovered Babe Ruth in 1914, purchased him and actually became his legal guardian at some point to get him away from the boys' school, and then ran out of money and had to pawn him off to the Boston Red Sox. So really awesome card. It's a common for most people, but really happy to add this to the collection with the old mill back. This was a really fun pickup for me at the Strongsville show. So it's from the 21 to 23 National Caramel. It's the E220 catalog, George Cutshaw. Now, George is an interesting guy because a lot of his cards have this exact pose. So finding him in horizontal cards is quite normal for me. Found this in a bargain bin for $30 US, so I had to pick it up. And as far as I could tell, there are only 5 graded copies of these. So there aren't many around. You got to pick them up when you can. I was really happy to stumble on this one. So Cutshaw is an interesting guy, played 12 seasons, second baseman, and had almost 1,500 hits. So a really good major league player. I'll turn around the back. You can see they were printed in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Beautiful back. You can see the paper loss and probably tape adhesive right there. But really, really happy to add this from our horizontal collection for $30 and a card that's got a pop of under 5. You can't go wrong with that. So George Cutshaw, there you go. Really interesting, actually. He was actually traded for Burley Grimes at one point, and included in the trade with him was Casey Stengel. So there's a nice little interesting tidbit for you. Next up is 1953 Parkhurst Harry Lumley. Now this one kind of gets 2 things for me. Number one, it's a really nice ad for my horizontal card collection. And then of course, number 2, I've been a lifelong Leaf fan living here in Southern Ontario. And so adding this Hall of Famer was a great thing for me to be able to do. So Lumley's a pretty interesting guy. When he retired, he actually held the record for the most wins for a goalie in NHL history, just over 300, 330 to be exact. And he still holds the record. I'll get that in focus there. He still holds the record for the most shutouts in a season in 1954. He had 13 shutouts in one season and won the Vezina Trophy as the NHL's best goalie. So flipping that around, just a gorgeous 3. Really trying to go with the eye appeal movement and making sure that I took my time to find this one. These are really interesting actually, because a lot of them have a browning on this side. And so the 53 Parkies are known to have been put in binders, and they had a special adhesive to them that was put out by the company. And so a lot of these copies, you'll find that they have browning on this side of the card. The only blemish you can see right here is a little bit of a crimp, but otherwise for a 3, really nicely centered, and the corners are absolutely gorgeous. Happy to pick this up, especially in the new cert. There we go. This next one was a really nice find for me as a horizontal collector. This is from the 1909 Oback cigarettes, and it's John Breckenridge. Pop of 5. I couldn't find any more than that. What an absolute gorgeous pre-war card. Get those mountains in the background. Really, really nice sunset and the green grass and the follow through. So John was a pitcher for the Vernon Tigers in the Pacific Coast League. So you can sort of see that right there. And he played a handful of games, roughly 8 games with Philadelphia Phillies in 1904. As always with these Obacks, a little bit of paper loss on the back, but that blue old style Oback lettering is still intact, so the best part of the card is still there. Unbelievable find. I was really happy to find this. I mean, there's only 5 that exist, so you know, you got to snap these up when you can. And the nice thing is it wasn't affected by the crazy prices that we have now. This is a forever card. Really happy to add this one. And this was probably the biggest card that I picked up. I went into Strongsville with a really nice, sizable amount of money. I was ready to buy what we call a grail card. Put in some offers on some Ty Cobbs around the room, but they were just a little too expensive for me. So this is from the 1909 to 11 American Caramel, the E90-1 Sam Crawford. I'll try and zero in on this one right here. So just really filling you in. Sorry, I can't do that. There we go. So Sam Crawford's still the league leader, major league leader in triples of all time at 309. I believe he was 4th or 5th in home runs for his era, in the dead ball era, until Babe Ruth came along, and that completely changed everything. Shared the outfield, of course, with Ty Cobb, and one of the most iconic players of all time. And someday people are going to catch on to this guy. He has some unbelievable pre-war cards. The thing about this one that was really important for me was the fact that the registration was on. So I've got enough of these cards, and certainly searching for other players in my collection, that the registration is usually off. You get the blue hue around the shoulders. In this case right here, you can see along the bottom, there's a little bit of an off there in terms of the print line. It goes shades to the top. But the actual player itself, there's only a little bit of blue. You can kind of see it right along his pant leg there. So skipping over the off-centered piece just a little bit. Unbelievable card. There's that awesome back. You can't get any better than the American Caramel, that Philadelphia, Pennsylvania stamp on the bottom. Beautiful, beautiful. Really happy to get this. Got it right at comp. Can't be more happier than that. So there you go. And there you go. Some of my Mailday pickups and my pickups from Strongsville. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. And until next time, take care, and I'll see you down the road.